Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne. I got a video for that Kimball, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. Today's video is just crazy. I think this is probably the most craziest video that I did, meaning the information that I'm going to share. The CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, have come out with some insane proposed, and I gotta stress that, proposed veteran benefit cuts. Today's video, I am going to break it down and get you educated on what's going on around us. Make sure you stick around. All right, so before I get into today's video, make sure you click the link in the description section and get signed up for my monthly veterans membership. Today's video. I'm at a loss for words to even have to bring this information to you, but we all have to educate ourselves. The CBO, Congressional Budget Office, last month, December 2024, came up with some proposed, and I'm stressing proposed, veteran benefit cuts. Crazy. I looked at it once, I looked at it twice, 3, 4, 5 times, and I'm like, okay, how do I want to present this to my fellow veterans? Okay, so I have 5 slides I'm going to share with you. In each slide, their proposed veteran benefit cuts. Let's go ahead and get into it. Slide number 1. Here in slide number 1, reduce VA's disability benefits for veterans who are older than the full retirement age for Social Security. All right, so I'm only going to go over what I have highlighted in red, okay? But I encourage you to pause this after I go over it and read both paragraphs. Just read both paragraphs, okay? And that's for as I go through each slide, okay? So the first paragraph, veterans who work are eligible for benefits, and most working age veterans who receive such compensation are employed. After veterans reach Social Security full retirement age, VA disability payments continue at the same level. Okay, so what? Social Security full retirement age is 67 for people born after 1959. The last sentence, by contrast, the income that people receive from Social Security or private pensions after they retire usually is less than their earnings from wages and salary before retirement. I kind of see where they're going with this. Oh, because you decided to jump out this perfectly flying plane C-130 to earn your parachute badge and you tweaked your back. So what? Or you rappelled off that helicopter in aerosol school up at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I think it's still called Fort Campbell, but let me know if they changed the name. But anyway, and you decide to rappel up off that rappel tower and hurt your knee, it doesn't count. We don't care. Okay? So what that someone signed up to serve this country, to protect our freedoms for whatever reason, they got hurt doing it, and now they get compensated for it. And just because when they reach retirement age to take away, let's keep going. Under this options, veterans who start receiving disability compensation payments in 2026 or later would have those payments reduced by 30% at age 67. Social Security and pension benefits will be unaffected by this option. Veterans who are already collecting disability compensation will see no reduction in their VA disability benefits when they reach age 67. Veterans who are already collecting disability compensation would see no reduction in their disability benefits when they reach age 67. It shouldn't matter when you start receiving the benefits, in my opinion. Let me know yours. Let's keep going. Slide number 2. Now keep in mind, people, these are proposed changes. I know people are going to be like, oh, they're going into effect next week. They're going into effect. No, proposed. In VA's Individual Unemployability, also known as IU or TDIU, payments to disabled veterans at the full retirement age for Social Security. In the last slide, they said 67. So the first paragraph says VA may increase certain veterans' disability compensation to 100% level, even though the department has not rated their service-connected disabilities at that level. To receive the resulting supplemental compensation termed Individual Unemployability, IU, payments, disabled veterans must apply for the benefits and meet two criteria. Okay, so I'm not going to go over the criteria because I have a couple of videos on my channel talking about IU. Now, the last paragraph. This option consists of two alternatives. Under the first, VA would stop making IU payments to veterans age 67 or older, the full retirement age for Social Security benefits for those born after 1959. The restriction would apply to both current and prospective recipients. When veterans reached age 67, all VA disability payments would revert to the amount associated with the rated disability level. Veterans age 67 or older who were already receiving IU payments would no longer receive them after the effective date of the option. A lot of veterans count on this, people. Understand that. A lot of veterans out there that I've encountered say, Dwayne, this is all I have. They may not be getting Social Security. So this VA check is all I have to live off of. With the cost of living going up, the prices of everything going up, this check is barely keeping them afloat. Okay, there are other veterans out there with, they got IU, Social Security, and may even have a pension or something like that. But there are some veterans that this is all they have. And look at what they're proposing. Under the second alternative, veterans who began receiving the IU supplemental after December 2025 would no longer receive those payments once they reach age 67. And no new applicants age 67 or older would be eligible for IU benefits after that date. Veterans currently receiving IU payments who would reach age 67 or older after the effective date of the option would continue to collect the IU supplement. I think when veterans walk in, not veterans, but when individuals walk in the recruiting center for any branch, they need, which I pray that they don't, and we all have to come out and speak up against this. But if this is passed, then it also should be required that every recruiter, Navy, Army, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, when an individual walks in their recruiting station, they need to be informing that person of this. Oh yeah, we're going to put you through all this training and you may have to go to combat. And if you get hurt, there's certain things that you're not going to be able to get paid for. They used to, but they no longer do. They need to disclose that. Let's keep going. Slide number 3. Introduce means testing for eligibility for VA disability compensation. Now, I should have stated this earlier. In the description section of this video, for each one of these slides, I have the link to CBO's website showing this, okay? So please do not ask me for the link in the comment section. Simple, you can click on the show more link, and in the description section, I already have the links for you, okay? Introduce means testing for eligibility for VA's disability compensation. Unlike disability programs such as Social Security disability insurance, payments are unaffected by veterans' earnings or other types of income. Yeah, because Social Security, anybody can get Social Security if you worked. Veterans get compensation because they served this country and they got hurt. There's a difference. Under this option, VA would means test, that is, restrict full compensation to those with income below a certain amount. All current and prospective recipients of VA's disability compensation. Beginning in January 2026, veterans with service-related disabilities and total household income, not just your income, total household income. So if you're married and your wife is making $200,000, oh, guess what? This is going to affect you, all right? Veterans with beginning in January 2026, veterans with service-related disabilities and total household income below $135,000 and excluding disability income from the VA, so they're not going to count your VA pay, would receive full benefits. So basically, just don't make no more than $135,000. You and your wife, if you got kids in the house. That threshold corresponds to the 70% of total household incomes in the United States in 2022, adjusted for inflation to reach the threshold value applicable to 2026. Adjusted for inflation. Yeah, right. CBO estimates that nearly 30% of veterans receiving disability payments from VA will have household income above that threshold in 2026. After 2026, that income threshold would rise with the consumer price index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. Guess where we heard that before? COLA, cost of living adjustment or allowance. Above the threshold, benefits would be phased out at a constant rate for every additional $2 of gross household income. Disability compensation would decrease by $1. We've heard this before, people. Back in April 2023. We've heard this before. Now, I'm gonna tell you, just as a business person, and I'm not saying I'm the smartest person on the block, but check this out. Okay, so don't make more than $135,000. Here's a nugget. You and your wife, you make less. Make only $100,000. Create a company and start using tax strategy and understand the IRS tax codes. I'm gonna say that again. Start your own LLC. Don't pay yourself no more than $100,000. If it's a corporation, you have to take annual meetings. Those annual meetings could be anywhere. And while you're there, you could take a couple of days for vacation. Start implementing tax strategy. Start watching some of these videos where people talk about tax strategy. When you understand tax strategy, you don't have to make $100,000, okay? I'm just gonna leave that right there. Let's keep going. Slide number 4. Ridiculous. Narrow eligibility for VA disability compensation by excluding veterans with low disability ratings, okay? So the last sentence of the first paragraph, those ratings do not depend, those ratings do not depend on whether a particular veteran's condition reduced his or her earnings. What they're talking about, they just, in the first part of this paragraph, they were basically giving the VA's definition of what tax-free VA compensation is, okay? Under this option, first alternative, VA will narrow eligibility for disability compensation by requiring a disability rating of 30% or higher for all veterans. As a result, some current recipients will no longer receive benefits. Now, basically what they're saying is sort of like dependent pay. You have to be 30% in order to get paid for dependents. So they're saying, hey, you have to be 30% in order to even receive compensation. So if you're at 10 or 20, which you can receive compensation now, you're not gonna get it. You might wanna get above that 30%, okay? Let's keep going. The second alternative would require a 30% or higher disability rating only for new disability compensation applicants, okay? Current recipients will not be effective. So they're saying, hey, if this is your first time, you get 10%, we're not paying you. We get 20%, we're not paying you. We're not gonna pay you until you get 30%. CBO estimates that in 2026, about 20% of veterans will have a disability rating below 30%. You know, I'm gonna wait till I finish up this slide to talk about this, okay? But again, new applicants, where they're saying coming out of the gate, you gotta get 30%. If you're currently not at 30%, 10 or 20, they're gonna take it away until you reach that threshold of 30%, okay? Slide number 5. So basically what they're saying here, tax our VA compensation. I'm gonna leave that right there, but leave me a comment in the comment section and let me know what you think about this proposal. Do you think they should tax our VA compensation, or do you think it should not be taxed? My opinion, I don't think it should be taxed, but let me know what you think. Now, that's a lot to unpack, but I want to challenge my fellow YouTubers out there that are talking about VA compensation. I think we all need to get together, especially on this topic, and just have a discussion. Maybe we all go live, maybe we record it on Zoom, or if we go live, just stream it to everybody's channel and just talk about this. Okay? I think we owe it to our subscribers. Okay? So people out there, if you know somebody else that's a YouTuber, say, hey, Dwayne did this challenge and you all should come together and talk about these and see what they say. Okay? Now, again, these are just proposed changes by CBO. Just proposed changes. I do remember, I can't remember if I did a video, and I apologize, that's the name, I got a video on that. This being talked about back in April 2023, okay? So why is it rearing its ugly head again? We have to inform and continue to educate each other what is going on around us and in the federal government as it pertains to veterans compensation. It's being talked about a lot, and I'm pretty sure it's being talked about a lot by people that never served, okay? So when you start going to these town halls or you're talking to your representative, start asking these questions. It seems like they're trying to slide stuff underneath our nose, and we have to stay up to date on this information. But as I get more information, I will share it here on YouTube. But again, I cannot stress this enough. These are proposed changes. Continue to get educated so they do not become permanent. With that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, and as always, share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.